Last week, many media sites reported the introduction of the B-21 Raider, the first new U.S. bomber design in 30 years. Although there is still scant publicly available information about the new military aircraft, the U.S. Department of Defense, DoD, mentions that the B-21 is part of a family of systems intended for long-range strikes, which includes intelligence gathering, surveillance, reconnaissance, electronic attack, communication, and other capabilities. The DoD has also indicated that the B-21 is capable of combat management and interoperability with U.S. allies and partners. The U.S. Air Force characterizes the B-21 as a long-range, survivable stealth bomber, capable of firing conventional and nuclear weapons. With 100 aircraft expected to be manufactured at the cost of $692 million each plane. Air Force spokeswoman Ann Stefanik revealed that the plane's maiden test flight is expected for 2023, as reported by CNN last week. Northrop Grumman, the plane's builder, claims the B-21 as the first sixth-generation combat aircraft integrating stealth, information advantage, and open architecture. It further underlines that the B-21 can network to numerous systems and in all domains, and is future-proof through quick software upgrades to beat developing threats. Joseph Trevithick and Tyler Rogaway observe in The War Zone that the B-21 looks to have adequate interior room for at least one GBU-57/B massive ordnance penetrator, MOP, representing nearly half the payload of a B-2 Spirit bomber, which can carry 18,144 kilos. It is also expected that the B-21 will carry stealthy long-range cruise missiles as its B-2 predecessor. This September, Asia Times reported on the successful launch of the Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile Extended Range, JASSM-ER, from the B-2 bomber. This upgrade, or the Long-Range Anti-Ship Missile, LRASM, offers the B-2 long-range anti-ship capabilities, which the B-21 will also likely possess. The B-21 solves important capability gaps in the U.S. strategic bomber fleet, including the requirement to penetrate strongly defended airspace, replace aging aircraft, and resume strategic bomber manufacturing. The B-52 Stratofortress is showing its age despite various improvements that seek to keep it flying until the 2050s. Significantly, its non-stealthy design provides it little value in infiltrating densely guarded airspace. Although the B-1 Lancer supersonic bomber was meant to replace largely the B-52, maintenance concerns have put handicaps on its capability and early retirement. Oriana Pollock notes on Military.com that due to wear and tear from close air support missions in Afghanistan and Iraq, the B-1 fleet is now restricted in using low-altitude supersonic flight to avoid enemy air defenses, which removes the primary rationale for its design. Pollock notes that because of these issues, the B-1 fleet will be retired in 2036. The U.S. still employs the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, the direct design precursor of the B-21, made to dodge Soviet air defenses while flying at low subsonic speed. The cost-death spiral connected with the B-2 halted manufacturing at just 21 planes when production was suspended in 2020, with resuming production considered too costly to be viable. As observed by Jacopo Prisco and CNN, the B-2 cost $2 billion per aircraft in 2020 US dollars, in contrast to the B-21's $692 million anticipated per unit cost. The B-21 also marks a substantial upgrade over its B-2 predecessor in terms of maintenance, which gives enhanced combat readiness and availability. While the B-2 was ahead of its time, its radar-absorbing skin is sensitive to all but the calmest weather, requiring special climate-controlled hangars, takes 51 hours of ground maintenance for every hour in the air, costs $150,000 for every battle hour, as reported by W.J. Hennigan in Time. In contrast to the B-2, Hennigan observes that the B-21 can be placed outside in a flight shelter, just like any other aircraft, and that mechanics may open doors to access wiring, reducing the requirement to scrape off stealth paint beforehand. Although the U.S. Air Force stated that the B-21 is designed to accommodate manned or unmanned operations, Kelly Sallier and Paul Scherer note in Defense One report that the capacity is not a priority in the B-21's current development cycle, and that the U.S. may not incorporate the dual capability into early B-21 units. Despite that, Salyer and Scherer contend that the U.S. should have first put unmanned capabilities into the B-21, which they argued would render it freed from human pilot restrictions for just a marginal cost increase. Asia Times has previously observed that clandestine SEAL teams or mini-submarines operating on or near South China Sea features can operate as target designators for air and missile strikes against enemy vessels and island defenses. For example, an unmanned B-21 may loiter above surface and ground units, with SEAL teams, mini-subs, or drones calling in pinpoint strikes on these within seconds. Capable of operating from airfields and bases relatively out of missile attack range from China, the B-21 aims to solve these limitations through its long range, stealth capabilities, high subsonic speed, and standoff weapons, aimed altogether at penetrating air defense zones and attacking strategic targets and assets at standoff ranges. Moreover, Salyer and Scherer remarked that the U.S. may employ the B-21 to attack China's DF-21 anti-ship ballistic missile launchers, lingering for considerable periods at standoff range, and then striking these time-sensitive targets when they emerge from cover or from their hardened shelters. The Pacific's huge distances may hamper the employment of carrier-launched stealth drones, like as the prototype X-47B, to locate or attack targets for long-range operations in disputed airspace. For example, the comparatively low range of the X-47B may compel U.S. carrier battle groups to operate closer to the range of China's anti-ship ballistic missiles, placing them at danger of attack. Although the U.S. operates long-range drones such as the RQ-4, its non-stealth design and limited speed make it undesirable for operating in disputed airspace. Because the RQ-4 is an unarmed drone, it lacks the potential to strike targets of opportunity as they are discovered. Capable of operating from airfields and bases relatively out of missile attack range from China, the B-21 aims to solve these limitations through its long range, stealth capabilities, high subsonic speed, and standoff weapons, aimed altogether at penetrating air defense zones and attacking strategic targets and assets at standoff ranges.